Have you ever loved someone so deeply, even when you knew it might never work out? I'm Jessica, and my story is about love, heartbreak, and finding my self-worth. It's a journey many of us can relate to, waiting for someone who may never choose us. But what happens when you decide to choose yourself instead? Let me take you on this emotional roller coaster that changed my life forever. Hi, I'm Jessica, and I want to share my story with you. My story might make some of you feel sad, and others might not agree with the choices I made. But I think it's important to tell the truth about my journey, even if it wasn't perfect. Once, I was in a relationship with a man named Basanio. He was charming and kind, and he had a way of making me feel important. But there was one big problem. He was already married. At first, I didn't know this. He never mentioned his wife, and I believed he was single. When I found out the truth, I was shocked and hurt. By that time, I had already fallen in love with him. I didn't know what to do. Bassanio explained that his marriage wasn't happy. He said he stayed with his wife for their children, and because it was the right thing to do in society's eyes. He told me I made him feel alive and free, like he could escape his troubles when he was with me. I wanted to believe him. He said things that made me feel special, and I thought he really cared about me. In my heart, I hoped he would leave his wife one day and choose to be with me. But as time went on, I began to see the truth. Bassanio and I spent time together, and in those moments I felt happy. But those moments were rare, like little drops of rain in a dry desert. Most of the time, I was left waiting for his call, waiting for him to visit, and waiting for him to make me feel like I truly mattered. I knew deep down that I wasn't his first priority. I wasn't the most important person in his life, and that hurt me. I was just someone he could turn to when he wanted to escape his problems. I asked myself, why am I staying in this relationship? Was it because I was afraid of being alone? Or was it because I still believed he might choose me someday? I didn't know the answers, but I stayed. I also thought about his wife. She didn't know about me, but if she did, she would probably hate me, and I wouldn't blame her. If I were in her place, I would feel the same way. Bassanio told me that his marriage was difficult, but that didn't change the fact that he had a family. I started to feel guilty. I wondered if I was doing the right thing by being with him. I wanted to be happy, but not at the cost of someone else's pain. As time went on, I started to think deeply about my life. I cared for Bassanio so much, but I couldn't ignore how sad I felt most of the time. I loved him, but something didn't feel right. I began asking myself important questions. Could I keep living like this? Could I stay in a life where I was always second? Could I spend my days waiting for something that might never happen? I talked to my friends about how I felt. They listened to me and gave me advice. They told me that I deserved to be happy. They said I should be with someone who loved me completely, someone who would choose me and only me. At first, their words were hard to hear because I was so attached to Bassanio. But deep down, I knew they were right. One day, I decided it was time to take charge of my own life. I realized I couldn't keep waiting for Bassanio forever. It wasn't fair to myself. I needed to find my own happiness and not depend on someone else to give it to me. I gathered my courage and spoke to Bassanio honestly. I told him everything I felt. I told him I wanted more than just short moments of happiness. I wanted a real future with someone, a home, a family, and a life full of love. I explained that I couldn't keep living in a way where I always felt uncertain. Bassanio looked sad when I said these things. He told me he loved me, but he also said he couldn't leave his wife. I could see that it was hard for him, but I had to think about myself. I knew I couldn't stay in a situation where I was waiting for something that might never happen. That was the last time I saw Bassanio. Saying goodbye was very painful, and my heart felt heavy. But deep down, I knew I was doing the right thing. It was time for me to move forward and create a better life for myself. The days after I left Bassanio were very hard for me. My heart felt heavy, and I cried a lot. I kept thinking about all the moments we shared, and it made me sad. At times, I felt completely lost, like I didn't know what to do with my life anymore. But slowly, things started to change. I began to realize something very important. I didn't need someone else to make me happy. Happiness wasn't something someone could give me. I had to find it inside myself. This thought gave me a little bit of hope, and I decided to try to make my life better. I started spending more time with my friends and family. They made me laugh and reminded me that I wasn't alone. I thought about the things I used to enjoy, like visiting my favorite parks and reading books, and I began to do those things again. I also set new goals for myself, like working harder in my job and trying to improve my skills. It wasn't easy, but every day I felt a little stronger than the day before. As time passed, I learned something very important. I was valuable just as I was. I didn't need to be someone's second choice, and I didn't need to wait for anyone to make me feel loved. I deserved to be with someone who would respect me and love me without any doubts or secrets. One day, I met someone new. He was kind and honest, and he always listened to me. We spent a lot of time talking and laughing together, and for the first time, I felt like I didn't have to fight for someone's attention or love. He treated me with respect and made me feel special in a way I had never felt before. Today, I feel calm and happy. I've learned an important lesson about life and love. True love is not about waiting for someone who cannot decide or being someone's second choice. True love is much more than that. It is built on respect, trust, and kindness. It means being with someone who accepts you for who you are and loves you fully, without conditions or doubts. This journey has taught me to value myself and understand that love should never make you feel small or unimportant. Instead, it should make you feel strong, happy, and loved every single day. I now know that when we trust ourselves and make choices that are good for our hearts, we open the door to a brighter and better future. If this story touched your heart or taught you something new, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share your journey, your thoughts, or any lessons you've learned in life. Remember, you deserve love, joy, and a life where you are always someone's first choice. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next story.